Today I just wanted to build something in Vanilla.js, and the idea came from since I was leaning into Vim. I wanted to build something where I can practice Vim, and that led to an idea thinking, what if there was a competitive playground for Vim? And there is already something called Vim Golf that I know about. I have seen that thing before, but nothing such I saw for the browser. So I was like, why not try to build something like that? Something like Code Forces for Vim. Yeah, and while I was recording, the power went for the longest time, and then I was just pointing down key what could be the features of this project and things like that. Then since it was a game type thing, there were multiple ideas in my head how to execute on this. So basically, it could have been it can still be a GUI based game where like it's a RPG or 2D MMO type game, or something like that, which uses a key mapping of Vim. But that would be very basic, which will just use SJKL and like very basic like I things like that to move around, do basic stuff, but nothing too complex. But point being, if I want to build something with a GUI with a gaming interface where there are characters, there are missions or whatever, right? Then that needs to be intuitive, which I don't think I have an idea about how that can be intuitive for a Vim user apart from the movement. So for movement, it can be very simple as SJKL, but apart from that, what other actions do other keys provide? So longest time I was thinking about that. I spent too much time thinking about that. Maybe something will come up later. I will still try to think for a creative idea. How can I implement Vim in a game type thing apart from the movement? So there was this one guy, I don't know who made HJKL into implementation for the snake game, the classic snake eating its food game, which was pretty cool. And from there, it drove like what kind of game. So since that game only limits for the motion, in my head it was pretty simple. But I will also try to make that one because what I think simple, since I don't know Vanilla.js, I haven't built that many Vanilla.js projects. I have only worked with React for the longest time. It would be sort of difficult. I'll still try to act pessimist about it. It will be slightly more on the difficult side. And what another mind-blowing thing is, so long time ago I stumbled upon this website called JS13K Games, which is like people making amazing games under 13 KB, which is purely vanilla JavaScript and very few libraries. But it is amazing how little code of vanilla JS can be used to create like amazing amount of games. So I was testing out that as well. People have made platformers, people have made full-fledged 3D games within 13 KB. So I don't know how, like amazing, right? It is very little code and people were able to do that. And I feel like maybe I'm not at that level. So yeah, maybe some days I will just keep looking at the code, keep learning. Someday maybe I'll reach that. It's been almost 2 years since I started coding, and yeah, but I do React. I understand React, but I want to be more on the fundamental level where I should be able to create these kind of stuff. At least understand how they work, right? Not too deep, but at least I should be able to understand. Then another idea that came to my mind was to build a Vim multiplayer thing, right? Where two people are simultaneously doing the game thing, playing on the same game, which can be a MMO also, like multiple people using uh, Vim key bindings to move around or do something together, like agar.io, but with Vim, right? Something like that. So for that, I was looking into socket.io and like what can be done in that sense, right? Which could be an interesting project. So around Vim, I'm thinking of building something, right? And since it was a longer session today, which was 8 hour session today, I should have mentioned in the beginning of the video. But yeah, so I'm thinking something around Vim, like it's an interesting playground. It hasn't been explored that much. Why not? Like, could be interesting and challenging because I haven't seen many projects on this, and so far I have seen it's kind of difficult. So I'll just dive into it and let's see. what happens. And I'm thinking alternate days I will do. One day I will read Dom Enlightenment, and one day I will uh, do this sort of projects, right? Let's see how that goes. uh, yeah, just one second. So while learning to make the GUI of a game or something like that, I stumbled upon this tutorial by MD on how to make 2D games, because I thought using HJKL I can use to make a 2D game. So it was a ball and block game, which the tutorial was telling. I followed that. I sort of completed that halfway through, and then the power went off. So then I shifted to planning the VIM game, what I can do. And there are so many things. Like, the difficult part is to choose between so many different packages and everything. It's the choice paradox, the decision paradox, and it's fucking annoying. So the thing is, since I want to learn more skills around React, so I was thinking maybe the next set of project could be in a different type of libraries or frameworks, whatever you want to call them, right? So, for example, I wanted to try out Preact, Quick, Svelte, Solid, Remix, and bunch of other things. Then I accidentally got distracted by PNPM, NPM, and YARN. What does YARN stand for? It's funny that YARN stands for yet another registered something, like that. It's funny. The name was funny to me. So yeah, PNPM was the performant NPM, which is amazing. I want to see what it stands for quickly. The YARN stands like YARN full form. Yet another resource negotiator. This yet another developers. Anyways, so yeah, then there were different stacks also, like what people have created to build React apps around, like Tan stack, Zen stack, T3 stack, Theo. He's an amazing person, man. Then I stumbled across. Then I got distracted by Drizzle versus Prisma. I was reading what are the differences, and I dove deep into that. Then I decided just to go with Drizzle because I didn't want to go too deep into that. Let's see, I will try out both. Since I have very little to no knowledge about backend systems and databases. Database I know very little, barely any. I have played around with Postgres a lot. I don't understand how it works, but never written a SQL query just via APIs and everything, right? Then backend frameworks, I have used Nest before, but not thoroughly. I was just played around with it. So I was thinking, for backend, what should I use? Should I just use Nest, or just raw Express.js, or should I dive into Go? But I do not want to go into different language yet unless I fully understand how JavaScript frameworks and JavaScript exactly works. So I did not touch Go. I wanted to do Go, but I was like, first understand how JavaScript works fully, which will take a long, long time. Based on my 1 month of experience, there is so much to explore, and I see no end to it, right? So, Vanilla.js is amazing. Like, so uh, you can do everything in Vanilla.js practically, but it is coming back from the React world. It is sort of difficult to understand how reactivity and everything will work, but it is. I tried, it worked. It didn't take that much time. Vite is amazing in scaffolding a project with TypeScript and HTML. I saw how it did. It made life a bit easier. So Vite is amazing, and I was just typing the like going through what various ways are to play around with project scaffolding. Vite is pretty amazing. It just makes life super easy. And I was also stumbled upon a problem. How do people not paste the text in monkey type, right? So monkey type is a website where you type your typing speed, where you go test your typing speed. I was wondering about how people not are not able to paste it. Like, how do you disable paste, or something like that. Like, if I'm building a Vim editor sort of a playground, how do you disable pasting if inside Vim you are allowed to paste? So that was another problem, which I was thinking for the longest time. And yeah, so I was thinking all of that. Then eventually I stumble upon it would be better to start off with something like Code Forces for Vim, right? Which will be kind of amazing uh, to think about. So for me personally, it's the issue because I want to practice Vim, but there are not enough resources to practice Vim per se with different problems. Apart from Vim Golf, which I found, I want something on browser instantly accessible from anywhere, right? So something like that I wanted. So that's why I thought maybe I'll try out building this slowly. Maybe I will build it like super fast or like we'll see. But I have to build it. I have to finish it now since I started it. So yeah, the whole day just went into this playing around with uh, canvas elements, games, building smaller things, and just understanding how things work in when merges, canvas elements, and I eventually for the last 2 hours, what I was trying to do was I was trying to incorporate a Vim editor into a text field. So I can build code forces like interface where people will go to the browser and type their solutions and then submit their solutions. So that's what I wanted to do, and people have written amazing stuff. Some people have written WebAssembly stuff to import Vim into browser. Some people have written Vim.js. I went through the files of like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 lines of code, which writes down about every operation that Vim can do, which is amazing, right? Seeing that in JS is amazing because I haven't explored the low level world. So I think even after 2 years, even though at how I work is like decent, but I think I'm still very new programmer because now I'm diving deep into how things work and these things. But it's a pretty amazing experience to know how little you know at this point because it just after 8 hours of this thing, 8 hours of working, just realized that there is so much to learn and I don't see an end to it. One thing I also stumbled upon was basically these thoughts come to my head like why am I doing this, why am I trying to build something which probably someone has built. Then I remember reading considered articles like yeah, for the same reason there's a Burger King next to a McDonald's, there are like five coffee tea joints at the same place. It's about accessibility and adding your own style to things, so it's okay to repeat stuff, it's okay to make things which are already there. It will add to your experience, provide value to someone different. It just should not be a copy of whatever someone else has built. Add your own flavor, or just try to build something that already is there. Like not already is there, but don't try to build already there. Try to solve a different problem. If it something problem you face, I was trying to find a problem. I found a problem. Now I'll just dig deep into it, try to see how I can solve it. So yeah, pretty fun experience going through all that. It's amazing. So many things are there. My God, my mind is just blowing about uh, amount of stuff there is. So I don't explain fully well what happened throughout the day, but I think this is the gist of what all I did, what went throughout the day, which was like 8 hours of study session. But yeah, so yeah, that's about it. But yeah, it was fun. I like doing this. I'll keep just doing this. Yeah, it's a pretty fun experience.